your calendar is being just filled up by people who book time or need things, that leaves very little time for you to focus on that deep work, concentrate on the things you need to do, work on those projects. Admin days are an opportunity for you to actually schedule some literal free time. But the idea of free time is to just let your mind wander. And the reason is because outside of that time, our brains are constantly inundated with text messages, emails, reminders. Full transparency, I've actually fallen off of doing this, feeling the effects of not having done it for the last couple of weeks. I know for many of us, we often find ourselves at the end of the week going, where did the time go? And how am I going to ever get done what I thought I would get done, but didn't get done, right? We're spending our times in client-facing, patient-forward meetings, appointments. We're doing presentations. For those of us who are working in offices, we're often called in to help problem solve for other people and with other people. And it leaves very little time for us to be able to focus on getting our actual work done, the time that we're needing to actually focus solo and get some things done. And on top of that, there's a very full personal life that many of us are leading, right? We're spending time in the car, we're driving aging parents and children to doctor's appointments and activities and school, and we're amongst all that meal planning and creating grocery lists and finding time to cook and clean up and laundry and all of the day-to-day things. And that constant race against the clock is exhausting, right? We're working so hard to almost chase these outcomes of success and happiness. But if we're not fulfilled, if we're not able to be present in the moment, what's the point? We certainly can't continue at this pace. This is a recipe for burnout. And you guys likely have heard Dinesh and I talk so much about why operating from this constant go, 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 taxes our health, taxes our happiness, taxes, importantly, our ability to create effective outcomes, make good decisions. Overall, it affects our performance ability and our ability to create a quality life that we actually want to live, that we're excited about, that we love. I wanted to take a moment to talk about something that has been really helpful for me, which is admin days. Admin days are not something that I ever thought I would take, but when I reflect back to even the days where I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't have a paying job, but I was still managing the kids and taking them to and from school. I really wish I would have known about this incredible tool then, because I think it would have been really helpful. So if you're not clear on what admin days are, let me tell you. They're basically days where you block off your calendar and you don't make them accessible to other people. If you're constantly running around trying to get things done and your calendar is being just filled up by people who book time or need things, that leaves very little time for you to, again, focus on that deep work, concentrate on the things you need to do, work on those projects, even do the little lifing things that come with adulthood, right? We all need to go see the dentist every 6 months. We all need to go see the physician at least once a year. Finding time to schedule those appointments, right? Taking the car in for the oil change. We need to figure out when we're going to be able to do that. All of these things are small things, but they take time and they take, importantly, mental bandwidth. Admin days are a great way to sort of protect your time so that you can do the deep work, so that you can take care of these little things. But admin days are an opportunity. They're an opportunity for you to actually schedule some literal free time where you just sit. Maybe you write, maybe you doodle, maybe you go for a walk. But the idea of free time is to just let your mind wander. And the reason is because outside of that time, our brains are constantly inundated with text messages, emails, reminders. There's so many things to do, especially if you're a parent. You're managing a lot on your plate. And it's almost like your brain and your body is put under pressure. So when you carve out some free time, you relieve that pressure. Now you allow for just some space to think. And then you can start actually problem solving rather than putting out fires. Admin days are great ways to guarantee a consistent time where you just let your mind wander. Some people that I follow very closely who are incredibly well known and very successful, I've heard them say on multiple occasions that they actually create time daily. And it is because of this daily time to just sit and allow their minds to wander for a set amount of time. They've actually been able to be highly effective when they do work, and they've made millions of dollars, sold millions of books, are so well known, have really changed the world, right? So there's real power in creating some space for you to do that so that you can actually do something similar in ways that are meaningful for you in your own life. But the other thing too is life is so short. And if you're like me, you have friends that you would love to see, but you wonder, how am I going to ever find time to do that, right? I love using admin days for scheduling lunch with friends or getting that massage or checking out that new workout class that I've been wanting to try at that new place. There's a lot of flexibility you can give yourself to actually do the things you want to do and not make yourself wait. I remember one time I was talking to a coach friend of mine, and she said she was coaching a client who was just in the thick of burnout, and she'd been working with them for a while, and the person kept putting it off and putting it off in terms of actually making shifts for themselves. And in their last coaching session, the person said to my friend, you know what? I've already been working for 20 plus years. I only have like 7 more years till retirement. I'm just going to suck it up. I don't care that I'm burnt out. I'll just figure it out. And once I'm done working, then I'll have time with my kids. Like I'll figure it out then. Sadly, I learned that that client passed away very shortly after their last coaching session. You just never know when you won't have the time. We all have things we want to do. Maybe you wanted to try taking a walk on a new trail that's by your house. Maybe you've wanted to go shoe shopping for a pair of shoes you've had your eye on. Don't wait. Make the time in your schedule to do some of the things that you really want to do consistently so that you're not just forcing yourself to live without. Admin days are really, really powerful. You can quarterly plan. You can do a weekly preview. And that, whether you take a full admin day or not, I highly recommend doing a weekly preview where you get into celebrating 3 amazing accomplishments of the week. No, it doesn't have to be promotions and big things like that. It can be things like, we made dinner every single weekday this week. That's an accomplishment. Or I made progress on that proposal that I had to get done. That's something to be grateful for. Maybe I was able to work out 3 days this week. Just start to rewire your brain to focus on what are things going well that week? What are things that you can celebrate? And then after that, take a look at the week ahead. Where are you double booked? Where can you move things so that you're not running around? Are you booked too close together? In other words, do you have a client meeting when you're going to be supposed to be driving home from your doctor's appointment? Knowing that ahead of time can avoid a lot of last minute frenzied running around and chaos the day of or at the last minute. So when you do your weekly preview, you know exactly what your week is going to look like. And importantly, if there's any planning that you need to do either for a long-term goal or a project, or even just being prepared for the meeting that's at the end of the week, you can plan, okay, I know I have that meeting on Tuesday. I'll need about an hour to get ready for that meeting. Where on Monday can I fit that in? When you look at the week ahead, you can approach the week with a little bit more intention and prevent outcomes that you don't want. And it'll be much, much smoother and will be less likely to tax you. So whether or not you have a full admin day to do that or not, I highly, highly recommend doing a weekly preview. It usually takes about an hour. Full transparency, I've actually fallen off of doing this. So I'm sitting here telling you that a weekly preview is really effective, and it is. And I'm feeling the effects of not having done it for the last couple of weeks. For me, I love lighting a candle or diffusing some essential oils. I love getting a cup of coffee, putting on some relaxing music and then sitting down with my planner and just carving out that time for myself. And so that is something that I'm going to restart here this next week. I typically do that on my admin days. The one other thing I will say is I used to have it on my calendar and for some reason it got taken off. So I'm going to add my weekly preview back to my calendar so that I see it. And that time, again, is okay to have on your admin day because that is my time that I'm booking with me. And so if you don't claim your calendar, somebody else will. And I'm going to reclaim my calendar. So look at that. Some of you may be thinking that that's cute. That's cute. You work from home or you have a job that's more flexible. And so you can have an admin day every week. Guys, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing sort of thing. I know many people who actively choose and prioritize having an admin day despite having a full professional load because they've seen for themselves how much more productive and effective they can be when they do. And they're able, because they're taking care of everything, they're able to be more present for their families when it's time to be at home. They're more present and, again, ahead of the curve with work. And so there's a lessened load there. If you feel like one day a week is ludicrous, do a half day a week. Or you can do one day every other week. I know a couple of doctors who have decided that they want to take one admin day a month. That's what they feel is the most they can really get at the moment. And even that has been really, really effective for them. So find a way to create time for yourself. You can call it an admin day. You can call it a CEO day, whatever you want. But if you do not guard your time and cultivate that time in a way that lights you up inside, someone else is going to claim that time and use it in a way that lights them up inside and takes away from your flame. So this is just to say, oftentimes a lot can get done if we just slow down and stop pushing so hard. And if you're still sitting there going, you know what, Seema, that's great. That's a goal of mine. But what do I do now? What do I do if I feel like I really, for whatever reason, can't make that my time? And my answer would be take 5 minutes. Just take 5 minutes a day, whether that's right before you go to bed or right before you eat lunch, or maybe you're driving home and you have 5 minutes there, but just take 5 minutes to observe your thoughts. Don't judge those thoughts. Don't try to solution seek. Don't try to solve. Observe your thoughts. Be present in the moment. You can use those 5 minutes to try to hear your heartbeat or focus on your breath or feel how the seat feels against your body. You can do any practice, literally, of just tuning into the present moment. Even if it's something like, oh my gosh, I love this song and I'm going to listen to it for a period of 5 minutes. Do that. Anything to focus on something to bring you in the present moment is so powerful and helping you shift your mindset, helping you shift your energy so that when you do walk into your house after a long day of being at work, you're a little more present. When you do show up for that big client meeting, you've taken at least 5 minutes to care for yourself, right? So, so, so important. All right, guys, that's it for me in this solo episode of the Happy and Human podcast. Until next time, stay well.